How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now on today's show we're going to be talking about Joe Gomez because it looks like he's picked up a serious injury whilst on international duty with England. We're also going to be talking about the goalkeeping situation at England. And the last piece of news involves Nicolas Pepe because he has said he's unhappy with his lack of game time at Arsenal.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right.
So the first place we're going to start was that news that broke yesterday about Joe Gomez and Liverpool. They're not going to be too happy about this one because it looks like they may well have lost another player to another serious injury. Now, he is, of course, on international duty with England. And it's being reported that he has picked up a potentially serious injury whilst in training. The FA have yet to confirm or comment on the incident, which occurred during yesterday morning's session. But Gomez is understood to be receiving treatment while the extent of the injury is still being assessed. England manager Gareth Southgate has yet to address the media, but will do so during the course of the day. There are some issues as well over Marcus Rashford because he was not actually at St George's Park after he picked up a shoulder injury in the weekend's game against Everton, but he's being assessed and he should join up with the squad. But this Joe Gomez incident, it would be a massive blow to Liverpool. Of course, Virgil van Dijk is already out for the rest of the season. They've been without Fabinho, who's been covering at centre-back, although he is expected to return after the international break. But this is certainly not what Liverpool would want. And first and foremost, England are going to be without a player that's playing really well. But Liverpool, that's where the major problems lie because they've got a Premier League title to try and win back to back, and without Van Dijk already, they're really going to struggle. And what Liverpool are probably going to look to try and do if this Joe Gomez, injury is serious, is they're going to have to try and get through till January and then go and make some signings. It's that severe and that serious because they can't maintain playing all their youngsters, despite how good some of them are. And I've been very impressed with a couple of them. They can't sustain that, Champions League, Premier League and everything else for the course of the whole season. It's all right for a few games here or there, but not the whole season. Losing the likes of Joe Gomez, losing the likes of Virgil van Dijk for a whole season would be absolutely awful for Liverpool. And one of the reasons why they've been so successful over the last couple of years is because of their injury record. It's actually been really good. They've been able to keep their main big players injury free. They've been able to, call upon them for the majority of their fixtures when needed. There's been a couple of injuries here or there, but no major injuries to the big players. Alisson, Virgil van Dijk, Jordan Henderson, Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, all of those key players have all been playing. Even Trent Alexander-Arnold, Andy Robertson, they've all been able to play large majority of Liverpool games. And you think now, Virgil van Dijk's out. Trent Alexander-Arnold has just picked up an injury which is going to keep him out for about a month. This Joe Gomez situation, they've been without Jordan Henderson for large parts. The last thing Liverpool would want now would be a serious injury to either Mo Salah or Sadio Mane. Because if that happens, then I think they are in desperate trouble. At the moment, with the attack that they've got, they can outscore teams. And if a team is scoring 1 or 2, they will inevitably score 3 or 4. So they're all right in that sense. But if it's long term, then I do worry for Liverpool. And I think Liverpool fans, from what I'm seeing on social media, are in agreement with that. They're a little bit worried and they're a little bit annoyed that this has happened whilst on international duty. And I suppose it goes back to international football. Is it really needed at the moment with everything going on in the world, etc., etc.? And it's one of those things, you can't predict it. He could have been training for Liverpool yesterday and picked up the injury. Nobody knows. Such is life. But yeah, we'll wait on reports as to how bad the injury is. I never like to see any player receive a serious injury. So we wish him all the best, and hopefully it's not as bad as first feared. Next piece of news, sticking with England, and of course there's the goalkeeper situation with England, and reports are saying that Nick Pope will start in goal for England in tonight's friendly game against the Republic of Ireland. It says that the Burnley goalkeeper will start at Wembley in place of England's regular number one, Jordan Pickford. Pickford has, of course, faced scrutiny for his performances this season and was briefly dropped by Everton for their defeat at Newcastle before returning against Manchester United. Gareth Southgate himself has recently came out and said that he backs Pickford and that there is no one seriously challenging him for England's number one shirt. Really? Come on now. Nick Pope, for example, is an excellent goalkeeper. He can definitely challenge Jordan Pickford, who I don't rate in any way, shape or form. And then you've also got to look at the other goalkeeper that will be fighting for, the opportunities with his country, and that's Dean Henderson. Now, if Dean Henderson can get into the Manchester United squad and get a run of games, then I believe that he will probably be England's number one. Especially with the way he was playing whilst on loan at Sheffield United last season. I think that if he was still at Sheffield United and playing week in, week out, then it may give Gareth Southgate a few selection headaches. I'm not buying into all of this, plays at Sheffield United and everything else, because if you take this season out of, the equation, and last season, Sheffield United were a better team than Everton. So he would have been head of the pecking order for me anyway. He's a quality goalkeeper. But David De Gea has really stepped up his form at Manchester United, and Dean Henderson, he can't get a look in apart from Carabao Cup matches. So I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But it'd be interesting to see how Nick Pope does in the game against the Republic of Ireland. Should be a good game, good test. And I don't really, see any game against the Republic of Ireland as a friendly. There's definitely a lot of history and good rivalry. It's like when you play the Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland. There's, that rivalry there. So it should be a good game, and one that I'll actually watch, because I think it will actually be a decent game. But we will wait and see what happens. Now, last piece of news involves Nicolas Pepe. And he has admitted that he is unhappy with his lack of playing time under Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta. The 25-year-old Arsenal's £72 million record signing has impressed in cup competitions this season, but has started only one match in the Premier League. He goes on to say that my goal is to play more, to have a little bit more playing time. And he was speaking to French channel Canal Plus. A player who plays is happy. For me, I would like to play a little more to find a smile again. Arteta, wants me to be 100% focused during the 90 minutes of the match. Afterwards, I see during training that I will be a substitute for the following weekend. But the coach speaks to me. He also has assistants who are there for that. But it is frustrating for any player to be on the bench. Could he have a super sub role? The coach makes his choices. It is up to me to show him that I don't have that role. So it's pretty straightforward. Nicolas Pepe does not want to be a super sub. He does not want to spend his time on the bench, and I 110% agree. It's time now for Arsenal to take off the handbrake. It's time for Mikel Arteta to start releasing these players. We've built a base at the back, and we've got to a point now where we need to start expressing ourselves. We've got some unbelievable attacking threat, but yet anyone who watches us would think we have none, because we don't attack, we don't create chances, we don't do anything. Even without a, you know, out and out number 10, shall we say, or creative midfielder in the team, we can still create chances. We can still score plenty of goals with the likes of Pepe, with the likes of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, with the likes of Bukayo Saka. We've got the players there. Gabriel Martinelli is a few weeks away from returning. We have the firepower. It's time that we let some of these players loose now and release that handbrake. Give the likes of Joe Willock an opportunity, because he's been impressing. I'd like to see more of Reiss Nelson. You know, give these players an opportunity instead of players like Willian, instead of players like Lacazette, who have played consistently and regularly and are not performing. I can't say no more than that. I agree 110% with what Nicolas Pepe is saying. It's time to let off the handbrake now, Mikel. And it's time to let these players go and express themselves and go and get the goals and start playing the football that I know that we can play. It's as simple as that. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. Joe Gomez, how big an injury miss will that be for Liverpool? Also, the goalkeeper situation. What do you think on that? And also Nicolas Pepe and his comments. What is your thoughts on that as well? If you're new around here, do hit the subscribe button. Smash a like on this video. And I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.